Hello guys, this is Terry from Genkigamingtv coming back at you with another Yokai Watch ShadowSide review. Today's episode 38. I don't know why I was saying 8038. Maybe I'm hoping for that many episodes of Yokai Watch. In reality, that's probably not a good likelihood because that's a lot of work. But the episode's name is The Awaited Person Will Come, or Machibito Kitaru. And this episode starts up very Japanese New Year's, like basically Oshogatsu, which is the New Year's time where you go and you make your first shrine visit of the year. This episode is full of stuff that a majority of the Western audience might not understand or really know about, so for my review, I'm going to start explaining stuff as we go throughout the episode. And our little opening cutscene is actually rather nice. It's a kid holding his fortune, or a young man holding his fortune. And these fortunes, or these omikuji, are basically random fortunes written on strips of paper that you can get at the shrine or at a Buddhist temple. Basically, all you have to do is make a small offering, and by doing so, you have the opportunity to get one of these folded pieces of paper. And I do have a list of some of the things that you can get. You can get Dai Kichiki, which is Great Blessing. And you can get Shu Kichiki, Middle Blessing, Sho Kichiki, Small Blessing, Kichiki, Blessing, Hankichiki, Half Blessing, Suikichiki, Ending Blessing. But what happened in the opening is the guy had Dai Kichiki, I believe, and then it changed to Dai Kyo, which is Great Course. And the levels for the courses are the same as the blessings. I'm also going to provide you guys with some of the things that can actually be in it, like Hyogaku, which is in auspicious direction, or Negai Gato, one's wish or one's desire, which is what Akinori basically got at the later part, along with Usei Mono, which is Lost Article. There's a lot of these. I'm just going to read a couple more. I'm scrolling down to see Lenai, which is romantic relationship, which is what he wants with Hime. Indan, marriage proposal or engagement. And Gakumon, studies or learning. There's a variety of these, and they can be written completely randomly, but that's not the point. This is just some extra background information going into the episode that if you watch it right afterwards, you won't be saying, what's going on? So, when the opening transitions into our first true scene, we have Akinori, Keisuke, Hime, and Toma meeting for the first time after the New Year. I believe they said Oshogatsu Ometedo, or Happy New Year. They may have even just said Happy New Year. I know G10 said his own little spiel, which is basically Happy New Year, and same thing for Whisper and Michi. Poor Michi. And then we get a small little snippet of Haruya and Doketsu walking with Natsume. Gotta walk with the Hime. And then Haruya.exe is not responding. Someone needs to reboot him because Natsume has broken him. just like Hime broke him. He doesn't even know how to really react or really do much of anything except for get people out of her way and like try to make sure she's the first person at the, I believe it's a food stall, because she implied that she might be a little hungry. But I really like that scene because it proves Haruya Shuden Doji is such a follower. If you slap the word Hime onto your shirt and it says I am Hime, he would probably follow you to a certain degree as long as you have something blooming with you. I mean, it gave me a good laugh. But things transitioned. She basically told them, no, do not follow me, do not do anything that would negatively affect anyone else around us. And they just kind of went on their own and had a candy apple. And basically everyone grouped up, everyone said Happy New Year, and they essentially just went back to the clubhouse and they went to look online because they heard about something going on with the fortunes that is very negative and not good, that a kid had a very poor experience with them. So they tried to figure out who would volunteer to get a fortune. Hime said she would, and then Toma said he would. Akinori, out of jealousy, said, I will do it. Boku, me. Or, no, he doesn't say Boku, he said Ore, which is the lowest form of I. Someone needs to teach Akinori proper etiquette. Boku and Ore are no. He should have used Watashi. But that's just my gripe. But he got his fortune, or his omikuji, and it basically showed him part of what he wanted, and he's even proud of it when Hime basically told him, good job, you did a thing. He went back into the clubhouse, or his room, found a manga which looks suspiciously like Yokai Watch, to a certain degree kind of Pokemon-ish at the same time, just because of how the cover is sitting. And then his Obasan gave him an envelope, and what that envelope was, if you guys are not into everything traditional about this first part of the New Year's, at least for the cultural thing for Japanese, is his otoshidama, or a little traditional envelope full of money for children. It usually isn't much, but it's something many children look forward to. Sometimes adults will get them too, but it's normally reserved to children within your household or neighborhood. So that brings you up to speed kind of about that. But as the episode really started going, things started to change really quick when his fortune changed basically to the title of the episode, which is Machibito Kitaru, and a shadowy figure appeared right behind him, and this yokai basically had those fortunes tied to it looks like a small clothesline on the back of his head, or on the back of his shoulders. Because normally when people, during New Year's or Christmas, you write what your wish is sometimes, and then you basically tie it in a knot and tie it to a tree or to a wall, and by not opening it or telling anyone about it, you hope for it to come true. But fighting this yokai, Michi, Yes, poor Michi was the first casualty of war. He got hit by one of the pieces of paper and became a piece of paper. Whisper became a piece of paper as well. But Jibanyan got great luck, or huge luck, and got tons of choco bars. When I say tons of choco bars, there is enough choco bars to create both a Whisper and a Michi, probably in weight and size. So Natsume, not liking what's going on while running away from the fortune yokai, summons Koma-san. And Koma-san has his little tag-along Komajiro. While they were doing their New Year's meal, it seems, because I see a orange or a tangerine on top of Komajiro's head. See what appears to be a lunchbox. So I'm guessing they were having their first meal of the year, or the osechi, which is like traditional Japanese food. Normally it has basically anything you can think of. It can have fish, it can have like normal run-of-the-mill things that your family normally cooks, but it has loads of pickled vegetables, fish, shrimp, maybe if you're lucky, crab, maybe some chicken, maybe even some fruit along with it as well. It all depends on where you get it and who you get it from, or if someone in your family makes it. It all depends on that, because there's a lot that goes into it. So both Komajiro and Koma-san go ShadowSide, and this fortune yokai appears behind them. They both kind of jump and dodge out of the way. It unloads a wave, or a arc of those papers as condensed energy, and aims it at Komajiro, who is basically pinned to the ground by the fact that he dodged. But Komajiro uses his tongue and pins one of the papers to the yokai's forehead, causing enough of a distraction for Koma-san to finish the job. He goes back to his light side form, which is kind of adorable. Those pink rosy cheeks and his small stature kind of makes him look like what we would consider like a gnome. The only thing I could really think of to compare him to anime-wise is maybe a Tentada from One Piece, or the little dwarf people, because he is super duper small. I mean, I know normally light-sized yokai are smaller, but he looks well, Junior will always be the smallest yokai that we've seen, other than the Oni trio that we've seen. I mean, but Natsume does her "oh, he's kawaii" thing, and that seems to be the common thing now when something transitions back from ShadowSide form to light side form. You hear the word kawaii, or cute. But this little sequence was interrupted by Obasan, who comes in getting ready to kill the yokai and send him back to the yokai world. She's getting ready to do some Miko magic, trying to finish off drawing the star before Natsume and Hime interrupt her. And then we get a nice little flashback. It turns out the yokai used to be a human. Who knew? Well, at least it wasn't an item this time, which is really nice because it expands our yokai library, or our yokai compendium, if you want to consider it that, or yokai book. And we see a young Obasan, or a young Miko, or shrine maiden, and the yokai as a boy had a crush on her, and he went and got his fortune from her, and it said, I wish I would have taken a screenshot of the fortune, but I believe it said happy lucky, and he was so embarrassed that he wanted to say that he liked her so that he could ask her out, but he kind of ran off. And then when he came back the next day, when he finally had his nerve or his wit to actually ask her out, another guy asked her to be his lover, or koibito, and he ran away and became a yokai. And then he kind of decided to make this time of year with the fortunes a bad experience for certain people. But at the end of the flashback, we basically get to see a young Oba-san again, and she's basically explaining to, I'm gonna call him Fortune for right now, because I hope he gets a decent localization. Fortune would be the only thing I would consider calling him if I was localizing him into English as like a direct localization, but Omikuji would be so much better, just leaving it traditional, because some things don't need to be localized. But basically what went on is we get to relive the scene that we wanted to see this entire episode of him showing her. Well, not the entire episode. Ever since we saw the flashback, we wanted a resolution. So he shows her the piece of paper that was written all of those years ago. They have a moment, and then we get a small little glimpse of them as kids. It's rather cute, and that's why it's the last screenshot of the video. 39 screenshots in all, guys. That's a lot. But this episode was really good. Whoever's behind writing it is actually putting their heart into things, and who knew Hime would actually stay around? I figured that once their arc was done with her, that potentially she would slip into the random appearance here or there, but she's been in a lot more episodes than what I would have thought, for her not being a character that they're going to transition into the game with. Because I believe in a Koro interview they said that Hime was anime exclusive, which kind of implies that once we're done, well, once we basically, I feel like we're going to see all of the game in the episodes before the game even comes out. And I feel like that's going to cause some issues with sales. But other than that, this episode was excellent, and I can't wait for the next one. Definitely within my top 15 episodes. And the reason why I'm saying top 15, because we're already at episode 38. And I suspect that we're going to hit episode like 70 or 80 before the game's even out. So I definitely am going to be using this yokai in the game. I am so excited for it. I just have to figure out if I'll have enough money to buy and import it, or if I have to wait for the English release. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful morning, afternoon, and or evening. I'm out of here. See you in the next review. Bye.